As a business owner, you're probably in a ton of meetings. But what if I told you those meetings could be replaced by one team meeting? Now, this meeting has saved me hours of time, not only for myself, but my team as well. It's improved our team morale, and more importantly, we get stuff done because of it. In this video, I'm gonna break down our weekly team agenda so that you can use it and free up some of your time and get stuff done as well. At Video Power, we've hit 10 years in business, and I've noticed different phases of how effective I've been on meetings. When I first started out, I felt like Dwight, where every time there was an emergency, we yelled at the team, "There's a fire!" Everyone in the conference room, and we all try and figure stuff out, and it was kind of chaotic, and nothing was consistent, and nothing got done. And then finally, we're like, "Hey, let's start to do these weekly meetings," and then we upgraded, and we moved to the Mighty Ducks, right? We were excited, we were together, we were meeting, but not a lot was happening afterwards. We still weren't getting as much done as we could have. And so we still had to do daily meetings. But now we've upgraded to the next level where we're like the dream team. Not only are we able, we connected, but we're collaborating, we're solving problems, and more importantly, we get stuff done. So what does that meeting agenda look like? By the way, I got most of this from the book Traction. They call it level 10 meetings, and I've used most of this, and I've kind of tweaked some of it to really fit our agenda. So this is what our agenda looks like. First of all, we have our agenda inside of Asana, and Asana is our project task management system. And what I love about having it inside of there is when we have something that needs to get done, we add it to the agenda and we can check it off right there. And it's something that everyone is looking forward to. So something before I go through the agenda, something that you should know is there is a start meeting, and it's regular, it's reoccurring, it happens every week at a specific time, and everyone's invited to it. It's on the calendar. Remember, if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. So there's a start time. It happens consistently so everyone can look forward to it. And then we have a referee, a time tracker. There is somebody responsible for making sure we stick to the agenda and we move things along. This can't be me because I get easily distracted. So we have someone on our team who can help be the referee, right? Time track. And lastly, there's a purpose. Everyone knows that the purpose of this meeting is to align everyone, to update, and to solve problems. So everyone's aligned on the time and the purpose of the meeting. So once you know that, how do you start the meeting? And I think this is important. And we start with we call it the company headlines. This is everyone's top 10% and bottom 10% of what's going on inside the different team members' lives, whether it's with clients or maybe it's a personal side or whatever, but everyone has the opportunity. Hey, what's the best thing that happened last week, and what's the hardest thing or the most challenging thing that happened last week? And I think a lot of times in a lot of company cultures, you shy away from sharing the challenges or hard things. But what I found is when you openly talk about the challenges or problems, guess what? You can solve them. And you can fix them, because if you don't talk about it, you can't solve them, right? So we share the top 10 and the bottom 10% of our company, of our team, of our clients. And here's the key. The bottom 10% will ask, hey, do you want to move this to an IDS? Is this something that we need to solve? Because if it's bottom 10, but probably something needs to be worked out. And if the team member says yes, we'll move it to our IDS section, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So again, we share the bottom 10% and we move that to an IDS. And then in this section 2, we review any important things happening for this week, any events that the team should be aware of what's going to happen. So that's how we start the meeting. From there, we have OKRs, our objectives and key results, and we have a scoreboard attached with that, right? So everyone on the team has something, at least 3 things that they're accountable, and we figure out what those OKRs are based off our quarterly or annual meetings. These are the big project that everyone's working on. Everyone has at least 3 metrics that they own, whether that's a certain number of leads, or editing a certain number of videos, or hitting certain results for clients. Everyone has 3 metrics, and we ask them, hey, are you on track, off track? Like, where are you? And it's either on track or off track. If it's off track, we ask them, hey, would you like to add this to the IDS section? And we can add it to the things that need to be solved, right? So the scoreboard's there, everyone's accountable. And by the way, everyone's taking turns sharing this. Like, it's not just me talking the whole time. Everyone's sharing what's going on. So then we also added, like, hey, let's review some like client accounts, because like that's the core of our business is our clients. So we have 20 minutes set aside where we go through client accounts and like wins and what needs to be worked on with those. And then we go through our to-do list. So from the week prior, we had made things that need to get done last week that we follow up on. Hey, Joe, were you able to edit those videos? Or hey, so-and-so, like, did you get this stuff done? Like, yes or no? And like, we put those to-do lists on there because everyone can see, oh, I better get this done this week because I'm going to be asked about it at the next week. So we go over our to-do list, and this is the bulk of our conversation. It's the issues list, the IDS list. And that stands for identify, like, let's identify all the problems or issues that need to be solved, and let's prioritize them, right? There is a whole list of things that we could do. What are the 3 things that are most pressing, that are the biggest priority? So of the list of 10 issues, we identify the top 3. And we take the first one, the top priority, and we discuss it. Hey, Cooper, you said that this client was having this problem. Like, let's discuss it. So that person is now in charge of telling all the facts. Like, let's discuss all the issues with what's going on. Let's hear everyone's perspective. And we're not solving yet. We're just listening. What do you know about this? Why do you think that is? Like, we're asking questions and everyone can share their perspective. Once everything's gotten out of people's minds, out of their mouth, and onto the table, then we can work on solving. Hey, how do we go about solving this? And we just collaborate as a team and we solve those issues. Okay. So again, that takes care of most of that meeting. And from the IDS, we can then create actions. Hey, so-and-so, you're in charge of this. Like, so what the key thing with action taking is what used to happen, what mistakes a lot of people happen, including us, is we'd say, oh yeah, let's do that. We should do that. Oh yeah, let's do it. And it would get said, but nothing ever got done. It's called the WWW. What needs to be done, who's doing it, and by when. So when we have action items, hey, Lee, can you create that email campaign? Can that be done by Wednesday this week? And we create that task inside of Asana where we have the agenda and we can keep everyone accountable. So that's what the bulk of the meeting looks like. Okay. So when we finally, how do you end the meeting? We recap the to-do list. Each team member has a to-do list of what needs to happen that week. We talk through any cascading messages. So sometimes in our team meeting, there is something that needs to be communicated to somebody else who's not on that team. That needs to be shared with them. So we go over any of those. And then we rate the meeting. We scale the meeting from 1 to 10. How does everyone feel? And guess what? Over time, the first time you run this meeting, it might be a 5 or it might be a 6. But we're to a point right now where everyone's like, man, this meeting's a 9.9, a 9.8. And so by following this agenda, you can really go from a Dwight, fire everyone conference room now to a dream team, man. We connect, we collaborate, we solve problems, we get stuff done as a team. So I highly recommend you implement this agenda. I'm curious though, what have you seen work inside your business or inside your meetings? What's been helpful for you? I would love to hear. Drop your recommendation in the comments below. In our next video, we're gonna talk about simple fixes that will skyrocket your appointment show up rate. So when people book calls with you, what are some changes you can make so that people actually show up to that phone call? Check out that video. We'll see you on the other side.